All right, China has done it again. So I've been playing around with Manus AI, and I gotta say, it is the closest thing I have seen to an autonomous AI agent. It's like you're standing over the shoulder of somebody basically using a computer. You're asking them what to do at the highest level, and it basically does it for you. So I'm going to get into a bunch of different prompts that I tried. But first, let me give you a bit of context. So folks are already calling this sort of like the second DeepSeek moment. And while that may be a little bit early to say, it's kind of like a Chinese startup basically dropped that $20,000 a month subscription that OpenAI was touting would be available in the future and is handing out invite codes like chiclets right now. So what is Manus AI? So I like Rowan's analogy here as a foundation. He's saying it's like deep research plus operator plus Claude computer combined. And that totally makes sense to me. If you layer in Didi's perspective of it's also like lovable, sort of like these AI first coding editors with memory about the session and sort of the planning and orchestration layer, I think that's a pretty good encapsulation. The results are absolutely amazing because you're not struggling through the limitations of a Claude artifact. Like this thing is basically using a computer. Now, of course, it's particularly good at vibe coding games. We've talked about vibe coding on this channel, but this is really taking it to the next level. So look, I've talked about this experience, right? Where basically you're using your different AI models, but you as the human are doing the orchestration. Manus AI is basically collapsing that further. So what do I mean by that? So when you ask it to, let's say, code up this 3JS game, it's going to basically set up its environment and create this to-do list. And then over time, you'll see it basically iterating over this to-do list and making progress one by one. Let's say I'm looking for a bunch of awesome locations in downtown Austin to fly, but I not only wanted to do this perplexity type search, like I actually wanted to open up, let's say, Google Maps and Google Earth and go through looking at scouting the locations physically and taking that into account. Now, suddenly you can do those type of things. So you can see it here, like basically doing the initial research, going through all of these various websites. Here you can see kind of like the plan that it's made. It's going to go look at regulations, create a short list, then scout those locations, then evaluate them from suitability, and sort of distill and give me the final recommendation. And you can basically see it stepping through and like essentially doing this. And it's like a really cool that it like zoomed in on all those locations and essentially tried to scout them. And then, yeah, finally I got this really nice set of recommendations. And these are actually really great locations. And I've flown it, one of these at least. So this is really cool, right? I love this example by Ashutosh over here where basically he's making like a video app, right? Like, so you can create a video app where let's say you want to have that sort of, dotted effect or maybe ASCII art type filter that you apply to video, you can code that up very quickly. So it's reaching this point where like if I could, let's say, load Comfy UI on something like this and start pulling in a bunch of different models and kind of have this agent use Comfy UI for me. Because if you've seen some of these like Comfy UI comps, right, like it's absolutely, it's like a freaking ball of wax, right? And if you can have a machine that can reason about this stuff in a structured fashion, but still like expose the right kind of dials to you, kind of like my buddy Ian did here to kind of adjust the fine grain placement, you can have a really good loop with using sort of this like developer essentially or designer or researcher, this like fungible autonomous agent that can do anything that a human could do on a computer. And I think that's really powerful. Now, I did run into issues sometimes with like context size. Okay, so I was trying to do this like super extensive research into, 3D Gaussian splatting, like reality capture, different methods to create photorealistic renditions of the world. And I mean, it just did an insane amount of research. But at some point, it basically kind of like filled its context window and then just like essentially crashed. And so this context issue is kind of interesting, which brings me to what stack are they using? Essentially what I've read online, and this is not verified, is that they're using Claude 3.5 Sonnet for the actual coding and a fine-tuned version of Alibaba's Qwen model to do the planning. And maybe that's it. Like if you throw, let's say, Gemini 2.0 Flash at this thing, with like a 2 million token context window, maybe it would just be chugging along. So that seems like something they'll probably address before they do their general availability release, right? Right now it's in early access with invite codes only. If you think it'd be interesting for me to sort of like give away invite codes and things like this, like companies have offered in the past or give me a small amount, I'm sure I could ask for like, 50 or 100 different codes and start like giving those away. If that would be of interest to you. I don't want this to be like this super cringe influencer giveaway thing. But yeah, jumping back to this very quickly, in the deep research case, like when you're doing primarily a research task, like, yeah, maybe some of the sources are better. I found the summary to just like be pretty damn crisp. And what's funny is if you look at it actually going through the steps over here, like not only did it open up like some of these services, it went to the actual website, right? So like, and it like tried to open up the actual editor, and then it created like notes for itself as it was like going along and doing this. And here we go. Reddit like blocked it, trying to pull stuff from the Twitter API as well. And it clearly didn't work. So whatever. Elon's locked that shit down anyway. So yeah, I can do other search. I can watch YouTube videos. I can pull up transcripts. And so yeah, like basically makes notes as it goes along, like, and just did a great job. Like, again, you can see it like using Story Splat over here. That's kind of cool, right? And after a pretty detailed set of research, it gave me an answer. And so let's see how long it took. That's like 427 to about 5. So about like 33 minutes is basically, is what it's spending on something like this, which is about, let's see how long the deep research took. Oh, it didn't actually tell me. It usually tells you. That's annoying. I guess they removed that because they don't want people fixating on how much time was spent on it, which is kind of smart. Oh gosh. This is definitely a product move, my guess is. But anyway, moving on. Now, look, some of these use cases can be very interesting, right? Like, I love this B2B supplier sourcing one, where clearly it has to go to a bunch of these, like, kind of really esoteric, like old, kind of generic websites, extract a bunch of data from them, and then basically do a little bit of data analysis to give you the ability to sort of specify your own like parameters that you're interested in, price range, location, different like, filter criteria basically, and winnow down this list interactively. So I always thought when Microsoft talked about recall or Apple talks about semantic index and basically be able to reproduce like a session where you're doing different things, I think this is sort of like their end game, is to collect a lot of these data sets that are basically like in the wild data that can be synthetically annotated and allows them to train these sort of large action models. So there's other cool things that you can do is basically like have it look up a schedule, let's say for South by Southwest, which is what I was trying to do. It did background research on me. So it knew the kind of events that I'd be into, and essentially started putting this like list of stuff together to give me a very distilled summary of what I should be focusing on. I never really get this quality of answer with, deep research and Perplexity or even OpenAI, because I don't know, just like the breadth of things that it does is pretty impressive to me. I did manage to get it to use GoogleEarth and be able to control the viewport, but I need to do a better job of like actually having it come really up close to the oblique 3D geometry. I tried asking for like hotel recommendations, which was pretty interesting, where basically look at its thought process, right? It's like, okay, so San Francisco can be a bit of a dystopia. And so this was my criteria for like the hotel I kind of wanted. And you could see it step through looking at good places to stay. Then it's looking at like safety considerations. Then it's looking at like fitness hotels, who has the best gym, and essentially synthesizing that for you. Yeah. So to wrap things up, right? Like suddenly we've got the connective tissue between all these different applications that we use every single day. And I'm very excited as we plug in other capabilities, where if I look at the list of like the top 50 generative AI consumer products right now, things like ChatGPT, Character AI, Perplexity, Claude, Suno, right? I want to create workflows where I'm using like ChatGPT, let's say for script generation, because I like 4.5. Then I want to toss all that stuff into 11 labs. Then I want to have like Suno to create the background track. Then I want to throw it into Ideogram to create a bunch of cinematic stills for a storyboard. Then I want to throw that into like a Claude 3D setup where I build out sort of like placeholder geometry for all the action that I want. So essentially taking a bunch of these tools and putting them together, that's what I'm really excited about. And another thing to note here is like, isn't it kind of wild that DeepSeek is number 2 on this list right now? And speaking of Qwen, which is like a fine-tuned variant, is what's being used inside of Manus AI, as I mentioned, Alibaba just dropped this new 32 billion parameter model that matches DeepSeek R1 with even smaller compute requirements. And so we're seeing this like process happen where these agents are pretty cool, but eventually they'll be running on these goddamn computers. And that is super exciting. So I hope you found this video helpful. Super excited about agentic AI and really excited about this new crop of agentic AI tools that basically do so many different things for you. Basically everything you can do on a computer. I can't wait till we bring our desktop applications into it. Why can't it use Photoshop for me? Make something in Midjourney, pop that in there. And I can intervene even more if I need to, push it along. But that way I can actually create the workflow that I am orchestrating today and delegate that to an AI agent so I can start focusing on the content creation and the content calendar and actually creating a whole portfolio of products and experiences. So that's what I'm excited about. Let me know if you like this new format. I had a little bit of time before I had to go to an event. Thank you so much for the support. Ever since I've started putting out these long form videos. So look, I'm going to keep all of this stuff free, and all I ask in return is drop a subscribe. Hit that like icon, maybe even turn on the bell for notifications, because why let an algorithm mediate if you get to see these videos? I know exactly what you want. I'm going to keep delivering it. Thank you for the comments. I read every single one, and I will see y'all in the next one. Cheers.